And the worst thing about international students, let's say here locally on your campus, is a lot of the time we don't know what the hell's happened, that they would have been deported, and we have absolutely no idea. And if they happen to be active within the student union or known within their classrooms, then a lot of the time, but there are so many countless cases of deportations where it's too late because we haven't been notified of them, and a lot of the time because they're thought to be suspect for somewhere or another, and it's just a total misunderstanding of a situation. So my call is to you to find some sort of solidarity to international students and inform them, and let them know their rights as well.
What sort of impact do you think this will have on UK higher education, coupled with Brexit and fees rising? Do you think it will lead to less diversification of our campuses? Do you think it will lead to sort of not privatisation, more? Do you think our campuses will get less diverse and will have less international students and students of colour and students who are Muslim applying to university in the next sort of 5 years? How do you think that will look?
Well, following Brexit, particularly with the spike in hate crimes that we've seen out in our streets and on our campuses, a lot of cases, Chinese students in Sheffield, West African students, and there's so many stories that came out. Those stories find their way back home, to our homelands, and word gets around, and especially as universities are, as Theresa May announced that. Not only is she championing policies which demonise them and ensure that they have the worst time on our campuses and potentially do not succeed to the extent that they could because they're dealing with mental health issues, hate crime, isolation in classrooms, and extortionate fees that mean that there's a lot of pressure to succeed based on the financial commitment and investment that their families made. But further to that, she wants to cap the numbers. So institutions are thinking, ooh, satellite campuses, let's export. But the thing is that part of the reason that we champion, UK higher education is the experience, is the ability as well. In some cases, that student unions cannot exist in some of the countries in which they want to have satellite unions. What does that mean for what our principles and ethos as a higher education here in the UK in relation to students' rights, in relation to students' freedoms and ability to access a community that they wouldn't otherwise do if they stayed at home and if they didn't enter higher education. What does that mean for those students? What does it mean on a democratic level as a student union? How are they going to be able to vote? They have no rights to vote. And so all those questions are coming up, and I think that we need to not facilitate institutions' obsession around maintaining their cash cows, which they consider institutions, but rather focus on ensuring this is a space which is free from hate, which is supportive of international students and refugees. And some of the incredible things that we've seen through migrant solidarity work, we hear that at least a third of British society has donated towards refugee and migrant action in some way or another. That's incredible, considering the demonisation of migrants, of the situation in Calais. That is just handing money, let alone what action they've given, what clothes they've donated, what food they've donated to some of the camps and so on. So I think it's now's the time to organise around that, to reverse some of the dangerous policies that Theresa May is proposing, which is definitely going to mean less diverse, a less diverse campus. But beyond that as well, because we believe that anybody should be able to access our education, irrespective of their nationality, of their race, of their faith, and so on and so forth. So we have to be the champions of the principles that we believe in relation to UK higher education, that marketisation, privatisation is a technique to completely rid our universities of, and through that, visibility,